These men are the greatest of mankind, and you're over here classifying and saying that they tampered with the Quran. Subhanallah, you are lying to the people.
Okay, so if I were to, and astaghfirullah, forgive me for saying it, I mean no disrespect. If I were to burn the Quran, would you say that I've tampered with it?
So if you doing, so you understand, right? The Muslims, right? So when you get rid of a Quran, right? If it's too bad, this is something that the Muslim should do.
Hi, welcome back to this channel. On today's episode of a normal debate between Godlogic and Muslims. On this episode, Godlogic is debating multiple Muslims as the lost souls of Islam get schooled back to back on this very juicy topic. Let's watch this video, find out exactly what happened.
Bro, I believe in one God. That's why I asked you.
No, you don't.
What do you mean? No, I don't. I got
how many creators of life do you have in Islam?
On a level, yeah.
Huh? What?
You asked me one question.
Yeah. How many creators do you have in Islam?
All right. After I answer your question, I'm gonna ask you a question. All right.
I'm sorry, Grace. I didn't know that those were the rules before you started this.
Well, you can't answer a question. You can't defend your beliefs.
Well, actually, Your Highness, I can. However, and forgive my insolence, Your Grace.
However, you can't.
I usually, and I hear you, Your Grace, but just let me just say this if I can. Usually we go by topic, and once one topic is finished, and please again forgive me, Your Grace, Your Majesty. Once the topic is finished, then we move, to the next subject.
I like how you address me, man. I respect that,
Yeah, 100%. So is it okay if we do deal with one topic at a time, then we go to the next topic?
Yeah, go on.
All right, thank you, Your Grace. I appreciate it.
All
right. So, how many creators do you have in Islam?
This is like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Question A, there's one creator. Question B, there's two creators.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're gonna lock in question A. One creator.
One creator. Da-da-dum. Okay. If you had two creators in Islam, then you would have two gods, wouldn't you?
If you had two creators in Islam, would you have two gods? Yeah, I guess you would then.
Very good. All right. So, here's our final question. Here's the final phase to this. Thank you for being...
These questions are just getting to me already, man.
You're handling better than anybody before you. Trust me. Isn't he, Chris?
Hey, you the best guest so far, by far.
By far.
With the best music.
That's right.
The best.
Servant, you're the first one that's made it this far. I haven't been able to get this far with the others. But I'm actually now able to get to my argument. So now,
Muslims can't answer if there's one creator.
Exactly. Ain't that insane?
Bro, you need to convert to Islam, and school these lot. That's all I gotta say, man.
I can't.
We've been waiting.
They don't listen to Muslims. They only listen to me as a Christian.
In a logic, we've been waiting to say our Shahada 3 years. Maybe
three
today
years.
is the day.
Maybe today.
Maybe I'm gonna convert you,
Maybe you're the one. So with this being said, now if we say inshallah, it'll never happen. Usually when Muslims say inshallah,
you got like 600 people, yeah.
Oh, trust me.
When you convert them, you're gonna.
We got 2,600 people on YouTube, so really we booming right now. So look, since if there's two creators, then that would mean that there's two gods. So my question is this: Jesus, he performed many miracles, right? One of the miracles, Jesus. One of the miracles that he performed in the Quran is that he created a bird from clay and breathed life into it with Allah's permission. So you got two creators.
He created a bird from clay. Okay, so what's the issue?
The issue is that you have two creators and thus you have two gods.
The issue is he breathed life into it and it became a living creature.
Okay, when your mom and your dad, right? When they were doing whatever they were doing, and then you came out, are they gods?
No, they didn't create me.
Are they creators?
They didn't create me. God did.
God created you.
Yes.
So where was you first?
God created me. He created me.
So where was you first?
God created me. So
Okay,
so with this being said, now you have Jesus as a creator, Allah is a creator, and now so you have two creators. And remember what we said: if there's two creators, then there's two gods. That's why I'm saying Islam has two gods.
But that's some B-Tech argument, man. You know what B-Tech is?
What is that?
What is this guy saying, man? I listen. So do you believe?
Wait, what is that? I want to know.
What's funny?
I want to know what that is. What is it?
What's B-Tech? It means it's a dead argument, innit?
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, so refute it.
Nah, I can't lie. Yeah. Now, basically, you know, like how some prophets, innit? Like, do you believe that? Do you believe Prophet Solomon, he could control the demons? Do you believe that or no?
No, but I have no problem with that. That's not in my that's not in my scriptures. But I have no problem with that. Go ahead.
Okay, so the same way, like some prophets could do certain things, Jesus, peace be upon him, was given the permission to bring people
and to create
back from the dead
and to create life.
Where was he creating life? You on about breathing into the birds?
Yeah, he created the bird, he molded it from clay, and then he breathed life into it.
Okay, that was just a gift from God, you can say.
Yeah, so as a gift from God,
the same way he could heal the blind and
so as a gift from God, Jesus created a bird from clay himself.
Okay.
So you have two creators.
Yeah, let me just give you a clap.
Thanks.
That was a sick argument. I rate it.
Thank you. What would you rate on a scale from 1 to 10?
You now, innit?
What would you rate on this? Wait, so
what is that? It.
Wait, so do you acknowledge that there's two gods in Islam now?
No.
Well, remember you said if there's two creators, then there's two gods. So you have to say that there's two gods now.
That's some dead argument, man. Wait, how are you coming out with that argument for? You got people and that you're using that. Is that it? We already know that Jesus, peace be upon him, could do certain things. That Moses, peace be upon him, could do certain things. That Solomon could do certain things.
Thanks for coming, brother. Whew. I'm not gonna lie, this is a fun one. We're approaching 2,800 on YouTube, man. Everybody hit that like button. We're not even an hour in yet, and we got 2,700 people, over 2,700.
Hello.
Everybody hit that like button on YouTube, man. Let's boost the live stream. How you doing, bro?
Great. How about you, bro?
Man, I'm excellent, man. Thanks for coming.
Okay, so you are arguing that Jesus is God according to Islam because of that verse, right?
Because of what verse?
Where Jesus creates a bird from clay.
How many creators do you have in Islam?
One.
All right. If there was another creator, then you would have two gods, right?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I am arguing since Jesus is a creator, you have another God.
No, he's not a creator, because when you look at it, it's a miracle from God. It's God creating the bird through the hands of Jesus Christ.
Then why does Jesus say, I create for you? He didn't say God did it. He said, I do it. I create for you a bird from clay.
Did you read the entire verse?
Yeah, he says, I come to you with a sign from your Lord that I create for you a bird from clay, and I breathe into it, and with Allah's permission, it becomes a bird.
So do you know the interpretation of this verse?
Yeah, the interpretation is that Jesus is
miracle.
Yeah, the interpretation is that Jesus is another creator alongside Allah, and therefore you have two gods.
That's your interpretation.
Well, that's
the interpretation of the ulama.
That's the only conclusion that we can come to.
How?
Because as you said, remember what you said. if there's two creators, then there are two gods. So
and he's not the creator. The scholarly interpretation is that Allah is creating through the hands of Jesus.
That's not true. That's not what the verse says.
Well, that's the scholarly interpretation.
Okay, so I got you. So if you're telling me that the scholarly interpretation is that Allah did it, not Jesus, when the Quran says Jesus did it, not Allah, who do I go with, the Quran or your scholars?
Wait, I'm eating.
It's okay. You know what? I'll take some of my fries too now, since we're taking a little meal break.
Okay. Even when you read the verse,
I'm
it
gonna have a
says
little
with the name of Allah, right? Even when you read the verse, it says by the Allah will, right? So it's not Jesus creating it; it's Allah creating it through the hands of Jesus.
It says Jesus created it. Why are we stuck here? It says Jesus created the bird.
Find the verse.
Chapter 3, verse 49.
We just waiting to find out if we should trust the Quran or if we should trust the scholars that go against the Quran.
Now, Edward says this. I'm going to read the super chat as he reads the verse. Edward says, hey, Logic, question. If Jesus made a clay dove into a living dove, equaling creator, then Moses made a walking stick into a snake, equaling creator, then does this mean that Moses is also a God? Right? 49. Or am I missing
49,
something?
Right.
Yeah, so Edward, according to the Quran, it doesn't say that Moses turned the stick into a snake. If the Quran says that Moses did that, then yes, that would be another creator. But it doesn't say that Moses did it. If that was the case, though, yes, Moses would also be another creator.
So when Jesus alayhi salam, he says by Allah's will, right?
No, he says by his permission, not his will, permission.
Well, I'm reading a translation. He says by his will.
Oh yeah, that's incorrect. The word is permission, literally in the Arabic.
Wait, let me read the Arabic.
I thought you would have pulled up the Arabic originally.
أخلق لكم من نار.
Hey, Logic, I'm gonna have to tell you, man, that this is a tough topic.
Yeah, by
man.
the permission, it says in Arabic.
So by the permission, not by the will, but by the permission, which is two different, slightly different, but you know. So it's by Allah's permission that Jesus created a bird and gave it life, right?
Yes.
So Jesus is a creator. He created that bird with Allah's permission.
No, I'm telling you the scholarly interpretation of this by Allah's will.
Does the verse say that Jesus created the bird?
No, you're taking your own interpretation, and I'm not more.
My brother, respectfully, and you've been respectful here. But I gotta be direct with you too. Okay, I'm only talking about what the plain verse says. I'm not interpreting anything. Does the verse say Jesus created the bird? Does he say, I make for you a bird from clay?
Wait. أني أخلق لكم من نسل خيرتين أفهمكم فيه فيكون طيرا. Yeah, he uses the word أخلق.
So I create, right?
Like I'm reading the Arabic, and it has like a translation below it. It says design.
Design, right?
But it says create. But I'm giving you the scholarly interpretation of the verse, which is more important.
I just want to know.
Important than your interpretation.
I'm not interpreting anything. I'm just reading. That's the only thing we do here. What's the only thing we do here, ladies and gentlemen? Please, he's new here, guys. What's the only thing we do?
We just read, y'all. We just read.
Okay, but you read, but you are interpreting it wrong.
Okay, no worries. Does the verse say Jesus saying, I create
Yeah, yeah.
for you? Okay.
But there's a correct interpretation to that.
Got it. So is Jesus doing the creating? According to the verse?
No, according to the verse, when you go read it further, it says by Allah's permission.
Right. So
the
is
scholars
Jesus
interpret from that.
is Jesus doing the creating by Allah's permission? Or is Allah doing the creating by Allah's permission?
Allah is creating the bird through his hands.
So Jesus is lying.
No, he's not lying, because you are interpreting his sayings wrong. And interpretation of the scholars is more important than yours.
You're right. You're right. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
The interpretation of the scholars is more important than what the Quran says, Logic.
Yep, we know that. I mean, that's not nothing new. If it was new, I would have written that down in our trusty red book here. But we know that.
No, yeah.
You know, that's normal. We know Muslims will throw Allah under the bus to confirm a bias of what a scholar might say to help fix the problem here. So, yeah. Does Logic not see context? Oh yeah, I see context, guys. Context doesn't help us here. How you doing, Salafi Tag Team?
So the brother was saying the correct thing about this.
Was
You are interpreting the Quran without.
Dude, you have a
understanding.
lot of background noise, my brother. I'm sorry.
You are understanding, and what you're doing is interpreting the Quran
Salafi,
out now.
Salafi Tag Team. Is it possible? Because I want to engage with you, but is it possible that you can get maybe to a quieter place? I hear kids, I hear cows in the background. I hear a lot.
All right. So the situation is what that brother just said is correct with the understanding. So you were saying about the scholars, right? It's not the understanding of the scholars. This was the understanding of what the Prophet Muhammad SAW taught about this verse.
Really?
And how he taught the Sahaba
Okay, where does Muhammad explain this verse?
in the Hadith.
Can you show me?
This is why you connect.
Shoobadoop dabba doobadoop dabba da doo da. Shoobadoop dabba doobadoop dabba da doo da. Shoobadoop dabba doobadoop dabba da doo da. Shoot up dee doo. Shoot up dee doo. Shoobadoop dabba doobadoop dabba doo da. Bum bum ba da bum bum. Shoobadoop.
Are you hearing me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, so it won't let me go to that and speak at the same time.
Correct.
So you'll have to do that.
Yeah.
So Ibn Kathir explains this verse.
You said it was in the Hadith. You said Muhammad explains this verse. I don't care about Ibn Kathir says.
This is Ibn Kathir. This is from Ibn Kathir with the Hadith, what the Prophet Muhammad SAW said, and with his change of narration is good.
Okay, so what does he quote?
This is how we take our deen. You cannot just read the Quran and put your own interpretation to the Quran.
I got you.
You must.
I got you. What does he quote?
I explain it to you. Break down easily for you is that it was by the will of Allah.
Hold on. Hold on. This is what I'm reading here. It's from Ibn Kathir. So he quotes the verse and then he says, these are the miracles that Isa performed. He used to make the shape of a bird from clay and blow into it. He's saying Jesus is the one doing this.
I don't. Your whatever you're reading is not with the Ibn Kathir.
It's literally. Hold on. Let me put it on the screen so that everybody can see, so that nobody think that Logic is just, playing games with all this good stuff. You know what I meant? Let's go ahead and put it on the screen now. This is Ibn Kathir.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now too. On the same tafsir.
Do you mind sharing? Can you share your screen, Chris, so I don't have to do all this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you, brother. I got you.
Yeah. He says, these are the miracles that Isa performed. Thank you very much. I'll give you a big screen real quick. These are
all right.
Yeah. These are the miracles that Isa performed. he used to make the shape of a bird from clay and blow into it, and it became a bird by Allah's leave. Allah made this a miracle for Isa to testify that he had sent him. So Allah gave permission for Jesus to create a bird and give it life so that the people believed that he was from Allah.
So you just answered it right there. You just answered it right there. How are you?
So you agree that Jesus is the one that created the bird with Allah's permission?
By Allah's leave. By Allah's leave.
I got it. So by Allah's leave, Allah's permission, Jesus created, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, how many creators is that?
There's only one.
Well, hold on.
Because if it wasn't for Allah allowing Jesus to do this, he would never be able to do it.
Right. So now Allah allowed Jesus to do it. So now how many creators you got?
He created a bird as a sign to testify that Allah is the real God.
Got it. So how many creators is that?
One. He only created what he was allowed to.
Who did?
You're using a faulty language.
Wait. Who did?
Isa alayhi salam created the bird by the will of Allah.
Got it. So is Allah, is Jesus, is he Allah?
No, Jesus is not Allah.
All right, so you have Allah, who's a creator. You have Jesus, who is a creator. Jesus is not Allah.
Only allowed to create something because Allah gave it.
I got it. Allah gave permission to Jesus to create. So Jesus created with Allah's permission to create, right? Jesus is not Allah. So how many creators is that?
There is still only one.
Right. So 1 + 1 = 1. Got it.
No.
No?
You are really
1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 in Islam.
So you just read it yourself.
I did.
And you're trying to twist this whole thing. By Allah's leave, Isa alayhi salam was able to create the bird. If it wasn't for Allah,
wait, who was able to create the bird?
Who is able?
Allah is able.
No. You said somebody created the bird with permission. Who did that?
Isa.
Okay.
Given the ability to do it?
Well, it doesn't say that. It says permission. Ability and permission, two different things. But no worries.
It gave him the ability.
No worries.
If it wasn't for Allah, he wouldn't been able to do anything.
Okay. So if it's not for Allah, he wouldn't have been able to create. So, but because of Allah, he created, right?
Yes, he created by Allah.
All right.
Yes.
How many creators is that now?
Still only one. He only created. You're laughing. You're crazy. Man. You just read it and cooked your own.
What are we doing here, Logic?
Look,
what are we doing here?
Maybe I need to do this. So I'm gonna turn my camera around or something. Let's do this real quick. Maybe this will help. I got my notebook here. I'm sorry that I have to waste paper doing this, but it has to be done. How can I reach these kids? I'm gonna reach these kids. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. Hold on, let me flip my camera around. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry for everybody that can't see it, but just imagine that I'm writing something. Okay. So creators. We're gonna put creators here.
Bro, I'm not dumb.
I know you're not. Forgive my handwriting. I'm just kind of at a different angle. Creators.
You just read the whole situation.
Creators.
It said by Allah.
I got you. Allah is a creator, right? Right?
Yes, Allah is the only creator.
Okay. Who created that bird with permission?
Isa alayhi salam.
All right. So Jesus created, may his peace be upon us. Jesus, let's put with permission so we don't misrepresent. So Allah creates, and then Jesus with permission creates, right? right?
Yes.
How many is that?
You understand this, right?
Yeah, how many is that?
Allah creates, he can create something without nothing.
How many is that?
Cannot create he had to create something with something.
You know what? That's a good point. How did Allah create Adam?
He already put stuff into existence from nothing.
How did he create Adam?
He created Adam by 40 different clays.
Okay, so he didn't create Adam from nothing?
Adam wasn't the first creation.
No worries. He create Adam from nothing?
Adam wasn't the first creation.
Okay, I'll ask it a third time. Maybe you'll get it.
I get what your question is.
Okay, then if you get what my question is, answer it. Hold on a second. He
created Adam with 40 different clays.
So he did not create Adam with nothing, correct?
It doesn't matter because Adam wasn't.
Oh, it doesn't matter now. All of a sudden,
he wasn't the first being.
Hold on a second.
He wasn't the first thing created.
Hold on, tag
Adam alayhi salam was not the first
team.
thing.
Hold on, tag team. You said that it was a problem with Jesus because Jesus needed something. He needed some substance to create that bird. He didn't create that bird out of nothing, ex nihilo. But Allah, he could create from nothing. Hold on a second. Allah didn't create Adam from nothing. He created him from clay. And then what did he do after he molded him from clay? What did he do after that, Salafi?
He gave him his ruh.
How? How did he do it?
He breathed it into him.
He did what?
He breathed his ruh.
He breathed his ruh, his spirit, into Adam. So he made Adam from clay, then breathed the spirit into Adam. Does that sound familiar? How did Jesus create the bird?
With the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
No, with the permission. Stop saying power. It don't say power, say permission. Stick with your verse.
Permission.
Look at how y'all twist y'all's verses.
Able to do it.
Answer the question.
He was able to do it because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What material did he use to create the bird?
He used clay.
All right. And then what did he do?
Then he breathed into
he breathed into that bird.
It still does not give you the argumentation and what you're explaining.
So you're
twisting everything.
Wait, tag team. So you mean to tell me, big dog, you mean to tell me that the same way that Allah made Adam, the same steps, Jesus used that same methodology to create that little bird. So when that little bird wakes up the next morning and is tweeting along with other birds, tweeting its praises, who's it going to be thanking for its creation?
Ma Yeshua.
That bird's going to be saying, tweet, Yeshua Akbar, Yeshua Akbar.
This is what happens.
Tweet, hallelujah. Yeshua is the greatest. Yeshua, my maker. That's what that bird's going to be saying.
No, he would not be.
Yeah.
And then he'll also be doing this. He'll be like, thank you, Allah, for giving Jesus permission to create me. Thank you, Allah, and thank you, Jesus. Right? He'll be thanking both of them.
He'd be thanking Allah only.
Right. Well, tag team, I do appreciate you. If you have any last words, I'll let you get the last say. Go ahead, bro.
You need to stop misguiding the people.
That's it?
You need to stop misguiding the people.
That's what you're using your last words to say, big dog?
Right. Muslims on this live need to see that this man, he does not want to know the truth, and he's always.
So what's the solution, Salah? Tell them the solution when they get up here, because they're gonna keep coming.
No knowledge of the subject. Stay off this man's live. This man is only to corrupt the Muslims.
Y'all hear him?
That's all he does. He does not want to.
He's giving y'all wisdom real quick. He said, if you don't know about the subject, stop coming up, because it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Yes,
it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. So, hey, if you're not knowledgeable, stop showing up. Only come up if you're knowledgeable. Which, tag team, you would be one of those brothers that you consider knowledgeable, right?
I don't have no knowledge. Many people have more knowledge than me.
But would you qualify to come up and have discussions?
On this little subject, I was able to help and explain the information that you're supposed to understand Islam with. Yes.
You know what? I don't want to drop you just fast. I kind of like you. I'm gonna propose something else to you. Do you think that Muhammad's greater than Paul?
You said what?
Do you believe that Muhammad is greater than Paul?
Yes.
How so?
The Prophet Muhammad is the best of all creation.
How is he better than Paul?
He is the best example. It's in the Quran.
Well, the
Nobody's
Quran.
better than the Prophet Muhammad
Well,
on this earth.
Oh, I hear you. How? How is he better than Paul?
Are you talking about Paul of Cyrus?
Paul of Tarsus.
Or Tarsus?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100%.
How?
He misled a lot of you Christians.
Didn't Muhammad mislead a lot of you Muslims?
That man, hold on. That man, he made up a story saying that Jesus came to see him, and told him to preach about Christianity.
No way.
When this man was a persecutor of the Christian, he was a tax collector.
Wow, he wasn't a tax. He wasn't a tax collector.
Tax collector. you was on a roll.
He was on a roll, dog. He was on a roll.
Also, he's not a Cyrus.
Wait, hold on, Salafi. Let's take one step at a time. So, you talked about the experience he had on the road to Damascus. You said that he made that up. He made up that story.
Yes, he made it up.
Why do you say he made that story up?
Somebody played with him. Satan played with him, and he corrupted. He helped was a big corruption into the ideology of what the Christians were.
Salafi, you're throwing a lot of accusations. I need you to tell me. I need you to focus.
I used to be Christian.
Tell me. I believe it. I believe it. Tell me, when you say that he made up this story, why do you believe that story of him meeting Jesus, why do you think that was made up?
Jesus never taught that you worship him. Jesus Jesus never taught that the people should worship him.
And how do you know that? How do you know that?
Jesus taught upon Tawheed.
How do you know that?
It's in the Bible.
Got it. All right, got you. So the teaching that we find Jesus teaching in the Bible, Paul needed to align with that for him to actually be a legit messenger of Jesus, or a legit messenger, period, right?
Paul would never sat with Jesus.
Got it. Does that make him unreliable if he never sat with Jesus?
How does he get his teachings if he never sat with Jesus?
I agree. Yeah. You know that's a good point. So if he never sat with Jesus, I got you. So Salafi. So if he never sat with Jesus, then he could never have Jesus's true teachings, right?
If he never sat with Jesus, yes.
Did Muhammad sit with Jesus?
Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad Islam, he didn't have to sit with Jesus.
Did he?
What?
No.
Huh?
Why would he have to sit with Jesus?
Well, because he says things that Jesus said. He says that Jesus taught about a messenger named Ahmed to come after me. He says that Jesus spoke from the cradle, that he's a messenger from the Lord, and to believe in one Lord, his Lord, and your Lord. So Muhammad is teaching is saying that Jesus said things without ever having sat with him. So therefore, Muhammad can't possibly know what Jesus said, right?
He gave these revelations because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them to him.
Oh, so it's revelation. That's how he knows. Oh, same with Paul. Paul got revelation. That's how he knows the teachings of Jesus.
Paul, no. You're not gonna do that.
Why can you do it, but I can't?
Paul is not a prophet. Paul was never a prophet.
I can say the same about Muhammad. Muhammad's not a prophet or a messenger.
Now you guys raised Paul as a messenger and a prophet?
Yeah, 100%. Jesus did that, by the way, not us.
I never even heard any Christian ever say that. You were the first Christian that ever said that.
Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to original Quran only Christianity. We're growing pretty fast. So with that being
said, the fastest growing
religion, baby. So with that being said, look, I just want you to see your standards and how you flip flop. For Paul, if he didn't sit with Jesus, he can't possibly have the true teachings of Jesus and what Jesus really said, because he didn't sit with him. Muhammad never sat with Jesus. He has teachings of Jesus, never sat with him though. Oh, but it's cool when he do it. It's a problem when Paul do it, but it's cool when Muhammad do it.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the revelation.
Right, and Yahweh subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Paul the revelation.
Where does that ever say that in the Bible?
Acts chapter 9. Acts chapter 9. Acts chapter 9, Jesus says, I have chosen Paul as my instrument to preach the gospel to the Jews, to the Gentiles, and before kings. And he will know what it means to suffer for my name's sake.
I don't know. I never read that.
That's Acts chapter 9.
Well, I'm not going to speak on it because I don't have knowledge on it.
No worries. So in the Bible, we see that Paul is identified as a messenger of the Lord, of God on high.
What kind of Christian are you? What kind of Christian?
I told you I'm an original Quran only Christian.
Original? No.
Yes, I believe in the original Quran before it got tampered with. Yes.
The original Quran before it got tampered with.
Yes, that's me.
The Quran never been tampered with.
It absolutely has. That's why I'm an original Quran only Christian. And you can actually tell some of the tamper with part, some of the parts that have been tampered with.
So you say you believe in the Quran?
The original one. The original.
But you don't know that you've got Sheikh, Godlogic, and Imam One Way Apologetics, the Sheikh and the Imam of the original Quran only Christians up here with you right now? You didn't know that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he is upon. All I know is he's misguided.
Brother, I am upon the original Quran that confirms the Bible, the Trinity, and the crucifixion of Jesus. But you guys like Uthman and others tampered with the Quran.
Oh, don't ever put me with Uthman. You talk about Uthman ibn Farouk?
No.
No. Uthman, your caliph, way back in the day.
Do you know who Uthman is?
Yes, I know who the Sahaba was.
Yeah, the companion. Yeah,
No.
yeah. He corrupted the Quran, and so that's why we see true parts in the Quran. Like, for example, Jesus is the word of Allah and the spirit from Him. Those are true parts. But the part that says don't say three, or that it was made to appear that Jesus was crucified, stuff like that, those are the tamper with parts. We know that those are corrupted. Or the parts where it says that the Quran came confirming the Torah and the gospel with them, and that if you don't know, then come ask the people who've been reading the scripture before you. Those parts are good. Those are good. But the parts that say, that Jesus is not the Son of God, that God is not the father of the Jews or the Christians, those parts are tampered with, we know, by Uthman and the others.
SubhanAllah. So you're saying that the Sahaba disobeyed the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu.
Yes, 100%. To take control and seize influence and power over the Ummah.
Your ideology is
specifically Uthman.
Your ideology is completely wrong.
How so?
The Sahaba are far removed from that. After the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu was the greatest of all mankind, it was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. After Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was Umar ibn al-Khattab.
You could look us up.
Ali ibn Abu Talib. After Ali ibn Abu Talib, it was Uthman ibn Affan. SubhanAllah. These men are in this order. These men are the greatest of mankind. And you're over here classifying and saying that they tampered with the Quran. SubhanAllah. You are lying to the people.
Okay, so if I were to, and astaghfirullah, forgive me for saying this, I mean no disrespect. If I were to burn the Quran, would you say that I've tampered with it?
So if you you understand, right? The Muslims, right? So when you get rid of a Quran, right? If it's too bad, this is something that the Muslims should do. They should by it's actually respectful by doing it. But by when the
it's respectful to do what?
To burn the Quran, to get rid of it. So the words of Allah are not disrespectful.
1 second.
Wow.
This is the 17th of March, and
it's respectful.
It's respectful.
It's the proper way to get rid of a Quran as a Muslim.
It is respectful.
Not when the kuffar are doing it to disrespect the Quran. This, that, and the third. This is not how it is.
I got you. Let me just repeat it again.
Slow down, Salafid. Logic's just writing down.
I just need to write it down. So it's respectful.
Almost done.
It's respectful to burn the Quran.
Hold on. Do not misinterpret my words.
Just let me finish. I promise. I'm not going to misrepresent you. It's respectful to burn the Quran as a way to get rid of it as a Muslim, right?
If the Quran is damaged, or what's it called, to be respectful
to burn the Quran.
Allah's word is not being disrespected. You are supposed to.
He didn't say no.
Burn it, or you're supposed to bury it underneath the ground.
Or throw it in the lake?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But those two ways.
All right. So it's respectful to burn the Quran in order to get rid of it. If you're a Muslim, you're doing that respectfully. Got it. So, man, 2025, man, this is an awesome year. I'm glad I left you up here, because nobody would ever believe me if I said that. Because I've heard that before. Actually, someone told me that before. But to hear it confirmed by another Muslim, that's what means a lot to me. So yeah, it's respectful. The respectful way to get rid of the Quran, ladies and gentlemen, is to burn it. It's to burn it. Okay, not in a mocking way, right? But if you're just getting rid of the Quran, burn it or bury it. Okay, cool. All right. So Uthman, he burned all the Qurans that he didn't agree with, made his own, and that's why you have so many, problems with the Qurans today.
We don't have many Qurans. The Arabic is one. The Arabic hasn't been changed for 1400 some years since it's been what's it called? It's not been tampered with.
I got you.
Science have also even verified this. The oldest Quran
the truth
during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallam, and it hasn't been changed since today.
Got it.
The interpretations, this is where the issue is with the interpretations. And understand that is not the Quran.
You said that it hasn't been you said that the interpretations are just different?
Yes.
So if there were Arabic words that were gone, then what would that mean?
There is not no Arabic words that are gone or missing out the Quran.
Yeah, missing out of the Quran.
There's no Arabic missing out the Quran.
You sure?
Positive.
So if I showed you a Quran and compared it with another Quran and there was a word missing from the same exact verse, would that mean that that this position is, not strong?
No, it depends on what kind of Quran you're using, because there's some Shiite Qurans that actually there's a Shiite Quran that has a whole different surah that then from the original Quran.
There's a Shia Quran.
Yes, there is a Shiite.
You're admitting two.
No,
you're admitting two at least.
So there's different Qurans out there. There's a Shia Quran out there.
It does not mean that's correct.
Right. So there's a Shia Quran, and then you got the Sunni Quran. Right. What if I'm comparing Sunni Qurans?
What Sunni Quran are you trying to say? Bring your evidence.
Yeah.
Bring your evidence.
Before I do, that's why I'm asking what does this imply? If I'm talking about what is authoritative within Sunni Islam, and there are Qurans that have differences, word differences.
So do you know that there's 10 different ways to recite the Quran, right?
Yeah, so 10 different ways to recite would be that. I mean, they're the same words, right? They just recite it differently. No, it's not, because there's different ways they write it, but it still does not change the meaning of the Quran. Got you.
So if you have the Musaf, if you have a Musaf, you have a Musaf that's with one of the different ways of reciting the Quran. And then you might have a different letter, because if it's a different way you say the word with a different dialect, which
so it's the same word, right? The word would still be there.
It does not change the meaning.
What if the word is gone? What if the word is there in one Quran and gone in another? So then it's not a way of reciting anymore, right?
It must. I don't know. I can't explain why it was, and if I have to see what you have to. You have to bring your evidence.
But I have
to do my research on it.
Fair enough.
I've never heard of it.
That's fair enough. But just logically going with this, when you're talking about ways of reciting, right? People may have different ways that they pronounce certain words. The word has to be there for there to be a difference of reciting it, right? Of pronouncing it. If the word is gone, then the problem is no longer ways of reciting. It's literally a textual corruption, or just a variant. You know what I'm saying? They're not all the same.
Is it a misprint?
Misprint? Is it a misprint? No, not a misprint.
Is it a misprint?
No, it's not a misprint, brother.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny.
I know you're not. I know you're just thinking. Your wheels are turning, so you're just throwing ideas out. But no, it's not a misprint. So would you like to see what I'm talking about?
Yes, because I never seen it.
All right, let me show you.
Avery, bring your proof if you are truthful, just as the Quran says, my man.
That's right. I got to bring my dalil. Right? Got to bring that dalil. Dalil means proof, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Got to bring that dalil. All right, so we go to chapter 57 of the Quran, and we're going to go to verse number 24. And so we're going to look at the Hafs Quran versus the Kalun and the Warsh Quran. All right. So depending on which Quran you use, will
What you just say? A whoosh?
Warsh.
What is that? I never even heard of that.
So Warsh is a person who has a particular tradition of reciting the Quran, a particular reading of the Quran than others. So Warsh is somebody, Kalun is another, Hafs, which is probably the one that you're familiar with, but you probably don't know. But Hafs, that's another person. So these are the different readings of the Quran. Okay.
Somebody just told me you're talking about the dialect.
No, these aren't dialects. These aren't dialects at all.
Hold on, 1 second. 1 second. Don't delete me. I'm about to go.
Wait, I gotta show you this.
The Hafs, the Wash,
Mm-hmm.
and what is the other one you just said?
Kalun with a Q. Qalloon. Are you there? I know you said you're about to go research real quick, but I wanted to show you this before you went. Let me show you this before you look the stuff up, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So look, what I like about this is a Muslim website, by the way. They show the different Quranic readings. They do the text systems and all kinds of stuff, right? So this is Hafs. This is what we have. This is chapter 57, verse 24. The word that we're going to be focusing on, let me share my screen so everybody can see. The word that we're going to be focusing on is huwa, this word here. Okay? Huwa. When we go down to the Kalun Quran and the Warsh, they have it highlighted in purple. That word is missing. It's not there. It's right there in the Hafs, right? Between Allah and whatever this word is. It's right there in the Hafs, but it's not there in the Kalun or the Warsh. So there's an entire word missing. Or if you're used to reading these, then Hafs added a word.
1 second. 1 second. I'll be right back. 1 second. Do not take me off.
Okay. I'll let you stay. Been talking to him for a while though, but I like him. He's a good sport.
Yeah, I'll take this guy over a few.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too.
And the funny part is, you notice the way he come up too. He come up aggressive. He was ready to get it in, and then he calmed down. The discussion prolonged, and we here now, right? We here now.
We here now with a good rapport.
So that is the recitation. It is the explanation. That is what it exactly is. Mm-hmm. It's the way of recitation of the Quran. There's different ways to recite the Quran.
Yeah, no, it's not just a different way to recite the Quran. This is showing you that the Quran. So when you talk about different when you talk about different ways, come on, man. When you talk about different ways of reciting, what you described is you're trying to talk about different ways to pronounce the words that are here. No, that's not what we're talking about. There are words that are gone, verses that are gone, words that are completely different that change the meaning. Now, this one, I can grant, doesn't necessarily affect the context of the verse. However,
do you know what huwa is?
Yeah, it means he is.
What else does it mean?
It's just that's all it means. He is.
No, it does not. Huwa is he, and it can also be it's a masculine word, and it can also mean it. It can also mean it. It can also mean it. So that with this, what's it called? You have to understand the Arabic, right? Mm-hmm. You don't understand the Arabic,
right.
And I don't even really understand the whole Arabic, right? But huwa and hiya is she, hiya. Huwa is he, and it could also mean it is masculine.
Thank you for defining the word. That doesn't help us. You want to know why it don't help us? Because the word is there in one Quran, gone in the others.
And like I said before, there's different ways of reciting the Quran.
So in these different ways of reciting the Quran, words can come up missing?
It doesn't change the meaning.
So words can come up missing.
That word huwa does not affect when you're reciting it. That's why it's taken out.
I heard you, but I'm asking, it's okay that words can come up missing or be added if they don't change the meaning?
It doesn't. You have to recite it that whole way.
What whole way?
Which way is that exactly? It's the Qur'an.
Depends on which Quran you're talking about.
So it's because of the recitation, the way they recited.
It's not the way they recited. It's in the text. It's written.
Yes, because like I said before, there's different ways to recite the Quran. So when you recite it that way, you cannot.
I don't know who you guys think that would like get or convince. Unfortunately for you guys, I'm a critical thinker. My friend Imam Claus there, he's a critical thinker. Most of my audience, we're critical thinkers. That doesn't work for us. When we're seeing two different Qurans of the same verse, we're not hearing the pronunciation with that because that's not the issue. The word is gone. Is that okay?
It does not change the verse.
I got you. So as long as it doesn't change the verse, it's okay, right?
That is a certain way to recite the Quran.
No worries.
You must recite that Quran with all that same.
I'm gonna give you another chance to answer. Is it okay to have a word added or a word missing as long as it doesn't change the verse?
That way is permissible to recite. That is one of the valid ways to recite.
Which one did Allah say?
That's what I was going to ask.
He taught them different ways.
Which one did he say though? Because you have the Quran that's in the eternal tablet, right? Right?
The classical Quranic Arabic.
Yeah, the Quran is in the eternal tablet with Allah, right?
Yes.
Which one of these did he say? Which one of these are in the Quran in the eternal tablet that have always existed?
The classical Arabic one.
Which one is that?
I can't speak. I don't know.
Very good.
If I don't have knowledge on it, I can't speak on it.
Fair enough. So the second that you say you don't know, that means that you are acknowledging that there is a difference here. And there is a difference in the reading of the Quran, in what is said, not just in how to pronounce a word or how to say it in your dialect. These are two different verses. One of these is in the eternal tablet. One of these isn't. So that means that one of them is the wrong one.
I'm not saying that any of these are the wrong one. Not at all. You're using your critical and your limited knowledge, right? The Arabs, right? They had different during.
I'm using my infinite knowledge, man.
Can you
How dare you use your critical and human knowledge?
Respect, sir. Can you? Because thank you. So, right?
Yeah, have respect, Imam.
But during the time,
my bad, man. My bad.
During the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallam, right? The Arabs, right? They had different dialects.
Oh my!
So
gosh.
Some of the why you keep cutting me off,
brother?
You don't even understand. You don't even understand the whole situation.
Brother, do you see?
I got a question. I have a question.
I understand that you have I understand that you're trying to. I understand that you're trying to. I understand you're trying to. Defend your religion, but there comes a point where self-awareness has to come into play. You realize you're talking to someone who has studied the subject more than you have, at least to this point, right?
You may have studied it a little bit more than me, right?
So,
but your understanding of it is faulty.
Well, you can't. As of right now,
you are using your intellect.
You're right. I am using my intellect. God forbid that I continue to use my intellect.
Your intellect is faulty.
Got it. All right. Well, I do want to thank. Look into this because I want you back. I like you. You didn't take stuff personal. You were able to, go back and forth. So I appreciated the back and forth with you, man. Check this stuff out. The Hafs, Warsh, Kalun, Duri. There's a lot more. Okay. Check it out. Research it a little bit and come back and tell me what you find. Because what I showed you was light. Like that was nothing. Showing that little word missing. That doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of what is missing in your Quran, what's added, verses that are completely different, that are contradictory to each other. In one Quran, same verse contradicts the other Quran with that same verse. Different commands given, different rulings given, different laws given that contradict each other on the same topic. I can show you all this stuff. But, look into this. I'm live all the time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would love to see you again. Okay, tag team?
All right, I'll come through. And I'm definitely going to read about it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to have understanding on the clarity of the issue of hand.
For sure. I appreciate you, man. You have a good rest of your day, all right? All right, peace.
All right, welcome back, guys. I believe that was an amazing one. Let us know what you were able to learn in the comment section. Share our video, subscribe, and also don't forget to like it as well. The truth is that once you believe you have two creators, then you're automatically telling us that you have two gods. There is no two ways about that. If someone has permission, that means they already have the ability to do that same thing. If I am given the permission to drive a car, I know how to drive the car before the permission was given. Jesus already had the ability to create life. All Allah did was giving the permission or the go ahead to create. Permission doesn't mean you are given the ability to do something. It's just that you are allowed to do what you already know how to do or what you have the ability to do. This means that Jesus has the same power as Allah, sharing his essence in this regard. It blows my mind how they never understand that they apply this same standard to the Bible but never their own books, and it astonishes me that they never ever acknowledge it in their debates. They always argue around it, living a double standard life. The power of creation cannot be held by a creation. The power of creation is the fundamental power of God. Without that power, there is no universe and there is no creation. So for Jesus to have that power to create, it shows that he is God in every sense. So guys, that was amazing. Share this video, subscribe. We'd love to see you in the next episode.